12 News, your election headquarters. Sponsored by Nature's Federal Credit Union.
Good evening, Southeast Texas. Thanks for joining us on 12 News Plus. I'm Cladra Rhodes.
I'm Jordan Williams. 7:30 right now, and some of the early results are coming in some of the hot races across Southeast Texas.
That's right. Incumbent Roy West is facing 4 challengers, including former Mayor Robin Mouton. Now, these two are leading with the most number of votes right now. You can see on your screen that Robin Mouton has 39% of the vote, Roy West with 30%. Also in the race is current at-large council member Randy Feldshaw, Christopher Jones, and Jude Paredes.
And as we look at these numbers on the big board tonight, it would appear that this one will go to a runoff, because in order to avoid that, someone would have to bring in more than 50% of the vote.
Looking kind of skeptical there. We don't know just yet, but Daybreak anchor Mark Armstrong is live with us tonight from incumbent Roy West watch party at Edison Plaza.
Mark, what's the mood there tonight?
It's quite a nail biter, but maybe that's just my nerves down here at the Roy West campaign. I think the mayor here is pretty confident that he is heading to a runoff, and that could be with former Mayor Robin Mouton. As you just said, she has a commanding lead of more than 1,000 votes, leading West at the moment. While West, he is leading challenger, Councilman at Large Randy Feldshaw, by a mere 200 votes, and that's out of about 10,000 votes cast just in early voting. There could have been another 5,000 votes that came in today on election day, and at this point well, it's hard to say if those day of votes are going to make much of a change, or if we're going to continue to see these trends, and it'll be Ms. Mouton and incumbent Mayor West going into a runoff on June 7th. Time will tell, and we may know within the hour. But joining me right now is the incumbent mayor, Mayor Roy West. How are you feeling about those results as they come in right now, sir?
Well, I'm very encouraged by the early voting numbers, and certainly want to thank all the voters that did get out today. And but it's still early. We're still counting numbers, but I am encouraged at this point.
If this does come to a runoff, which undoubtedly it will be coming into a runoff on June 7th, but if you are in that runoff, how are you going to set yourself apart, whether it be against Ms. Mouton, who it looks like that's who you'd be challenging at this moment, or against Mr. Feldshaw, if he's able to bring those numbers up?
Well, at this point, I feel like the message we've been sending, the message that we've been working on for the last 2 years, is working. And we certainly have more work to do. I'm excited about what I've gotten to do in these 2 years, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity. But certainly all the votes hadn't been counted today, and I certainly appreciate all the voters that did get out today.
What was the work going into this election? How much work did you have to do in order to get that message out there that you are the man to keep in this job?
Well, there's obviously there were 5 candidates in the field, so it was a big field, and I just wanted to be on point in terms of what I had said 2 years ago is the same thing I'm working on. I do feel like we've made significant progress when it comes to public safety, the real-time crime center, certainly increasing the number of ambulances on the street, and the vacant building ordinance for downtown, as well as the enhanced code enforcement and the homeless no camping ordinance, so that we can continue to work to solve that problem. But we've made great strides. There's more work to be done. I'm excited about our downtown development. I'm excited about that information, the report that's coming, and the feasibility study on the hotel. So I think this is going to be an exciting month, and but I'm eager to see the remainder of the votes.
And we certainly all are eager to see those remaining votes as they continue to come in, when we will know very soon whether or not Mr. West here is in fact going to a runoff in order to keep his seat, and it could be against Robin Mouton, the former mayor, if those numbers continue to hold true. But in the meantime, we're live down here at the Mayor West campaign party. Back to you.
We'll be watching those numbers. Thank you, Mark. We spoke with former Mayor Robin Mouton at the polls today, who's currently in the lead.
Yeah, and as you heard, this could be a runoff rematch of sorts. Mouton hopes to tackle residents' main issues if she gets elected again.
Infrastructure is the top of citizens' concern, and absolutely crime. And I decided to run my campaign on unity, crime prevention, and building a better Beaumont. And that has been my slogan from day one.
Mouton lost to Roy West in 2023, and again at this point, unless something wild happens, it appears we're going for a runoff in the mayor's race. 4 candidates are running for Beaumont City Council's 2 at-large seats.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers now. Councilman Odwin Samuel, who's leaving Ward 3 and running citywide, Mike Williams, Beaumont businessman and community advocate Brian Naveau, a local consultant and civic volunteer, and incumbent AJ Turner. You can say AJ Turner has 40% of the vote. Right there you see Mike Williams with 28%, Odwin Samuel with 25%, and Brian Naveau right there with 7%.
Just early numbers. This one doesn't have to have 50%. So the top 2 tonight, whoever that ends up being, at this point, it's Mr. Turner and Mr. Williams. These will be the winners, depending how this all plays out.
We posed a series of questions to the candidates, including how they would help combat crime across the city. Here's how they responded.
Ever since the implementation of the Real-Time Crime Center, it has dropped significantly the crime rate and also the apprehension of suspects. There was an article put out on Facebook by the Beaumont Police Department just this morning that I read, and it's a fact that they have caught 100% of the murder suspects from last year due to the Real-Time Crime Center.
Most of the crime is taking place in our younger demographics. I want to task the Youth Council with coming up with a concept of what are some things that they feel like can be done better to reduce crime in the city of Beaumont. What are some things that they feel can be implemented? What are some programs and procedures that they would like to see that would help get the attention of some of these younger people that are committing these crimes?
I believe we must continue to use some of the old things along with the new. So we have to use community policing. We have to have officers that are on the street, the officers that know the neighborhoods. But we have to use the modern technology like shots fired to assist with it. We have to implement our camera systems throughout our city.
A lot of crime is rooted in poverty. People feel like that's a route that they have to take to survive. And so, finding ways to, let these young people or young adults find a different way of life to where they know that there is another option.
All right, so that was the candidates for those 2 at-large seats. Right now, I want to show you the results we've got from early voting for the Ward 1 council race. And Corey Crenshaw has a big lead over Mark Stiles. Crenshaw has 63% of the vote. These are just early numbers.
Our Cameron Burchett is at Rogers Park right now covering the race for Beaumont's Ward 1 seat. Cameron, what's the energy like now after polls have closed?
Cladra, the party hasn't started yet, and Cladra and Jordan again here at Rogers Park. Just because the polls have closed does not mean the party has ended. People's campaigns behind me are still up, and again, nobody's here. Everybody's getting ready for their watch parties coming up for the Ward 1 seat. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Starting with Mark Stiles, he previously represented Southeast Texas in the Texas House from 1983 to 1999, and now he's looking to focus on local politics. He says he's focused on economic development in the city and bringing more centers targeted towards the youth to deter crime. When 12 News spoke to him earlier this afternoon at Rogers Park, he shared more of his plans if elected.
We have to have economic development. We need to address youth crime. We need to worry about our infrastructure. There's a lot of things to do besides negative campaigning. Economic development, for the first time in 20 years, we have an economic development director in the city of Beaumont. And there's a lot of opportunities, I think, for help small businesses and help large businesses come in.
We also spoke with his opponent, lawyer Corey Crenshaw, this afternoon. Crenshaw promises to strengthen council's relationship with the police and fire departments.
Beaumont deserves safer streets. We deserve to have a fire department that's effectively managed and properly ran. We need to stop the shortages of our firemen, and we need to get them the resources that they need. We need to treat our EMS fairly.
Sitting Ward 1 Councilman Taylor Neal is not running for re-election. Instead, he's serving as Crenshaw's campaign manager. Crenshaw is a former Jefferson County District Attorney and judge. And later tonight, we'll be there at the candidates' watch parties once we learn more about these early voting numbers and once we get those results start rolling in. Live in Beaumont, Cameron Burchett, 12 News.
All right, and we should note as we thank you, Cameron, we're aware Corey Crenshaw has declared victory. We are not making that call on the race just yet based on the early returns, but as you've noted, a sizable lead over Mr. Stiles tonight.
Right, and we understand that this comes from a post on Facebook.
Yeah, he has claimed victory.
Absolutely. Okay, we're getting some early numbers for Port Arthur mayor now. 4 candidates are vying for the seat. Charlie Lewis, Charlotte Moses, Alan Volka, and Chuck Vincent are running to replace them. If you can take a look at your screen right now, Charlotte Moses with 50% leading right now, Charlie Lewis 30%, Chuck Vincent 16%, and Alan Volka with 3% there.
She may be able to avoid a runoff. We'll watch that one for you. And we're going to check some other big Southeast Texas races as well right now.
In Jasper, the mayor's race is on the ballot. Incumbent Anderson Land is being challenged by Clark McLean and Bo Limbrick. Land tells us he wants to tackle the job market if reelected. McLean wants to address financial transparency and accountability at City Hall. And Limbrick wants to focus on youth intervention to cut down on crime.
All right, in Nederland, we're waiting on some of the results there. This is the mayor's fight between Jeff Darby and Emmett Hollier. We've spoken with both candidates throughout the campaign. They've been highlighting the need to improve Nederland's infrastructure.
We've had some issues with our water, right? The lines are old. We need to build a plan. My intent as mayor is to create a task force of citizens, small businesses, and employees to meet with every so often to get ideas.
The streets in many places in town are not in very good condition. Drainage is an ongoing problem. People have brought complaints to us about the private sector ambulance company.
Hollier and Darby are not originally from Nederland, but for the past 20 years, they have called the city home.
And we're working to get all of those numbers for you, but thank you for joining us on 12 News. We'll continue to watch tonight's race closely.
Yeah, some very, very tight races. We will be keeping you updated on air, streaming here on 12 News Plus. We'll be back with you in just a bit. And you can also get results sent straight to your phone. Just text the word VOTE to 409-838-1212.
Join us at 12 News Plus with more live election coverage at 8:30 in our 10 o'clock show.